Hello, I'm Colie Otzel. Welcome to America's Salon Academy, the podcast. I believe that success leaves clues, so listen closely as I discuss life and business with some of the world's best hair artists. My guest for today is a hairdresser in Sheffield, which is the north side of England. She has been in the industry for 13 years and is part of the very first UK Riot Squad with Pulp Riot. You can also find her at the Wella Trend Vision coming up in September. Her specialties are definitely color and extensions. My guest is Heather Mackenzie. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited you're here.
I'm so excited too. Thank you for having me. This is my first podcast.
Oh, awesome. So where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from Sheffield in England. I've lived there my entire life. I actually live in a town called Rotherham now, but it's bang next to it.
Okay. And what did your mom and dad do for a living when you were growing up?
So I lived with my mom and my stepdad. My stepdad was, I think I'm not quite sure. I know he worked in an office and he wore a suit, but I'm never quite sure what he did. And my mom worked in a bank. And my dad, he is a painter and decorator.
Oh, wow. So you get some creativity from him, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
So what types of things did you do for fun when you were growing up?
I love to draw. I played outside a lot, video games, stuff like that really. Just normal, a bit boring.
Just normal kid, normal creative kid, huh?
Yeah, very much a tomboy, I think.
Yeah. I still am, actually, very much a tomboy, yeah.
Same, I'm a bit of both. Get a bit of the glam side and then very much like boy things.
Yeah, that's really funny. I remember when I was I think I was maybe 10 or 11. I actually used to race, okay?
Really?
I used to race go-karts just, when
Amazing.
I was little. And I could remember, getting my nails done and then racing. Like that, same thing.
Mix it up.
So how old were you when you figured out that hair would be your career?
So I kind of thought of it on and off, but never fully decided. And then I think I got to 17 and my mum was just like, right, you need to get a job. So what are you going to do? So I was just like, well, I might just try being a hairdresser because I really want to work my hands. I knew I didn't want to work in an office or anything like that. So I just sort of give it a go and then absolutely fell in love with it ever since. I couldn't imagine ever doing anything else.
Wow. So what actually inspired you? Was it just like your mom, it's time to go?
Yeah, literally. She was like, right, you've got to go and get a job now. You take it, Mick, sort of thing. So I was just like, okay, right. I knew I wanted to work with my hands. So it was either that or tattooing or something like that.
Yeah. So what was your first love? Like when you went through school and, what was the first thing that really clicked with you?
In hairdressing?
Yes.
So cutting, I'd say, which is really funny because I'm not that big of a cutter anymore and I hated colouring and it just fully flipped these last I'd probably say 5 or 6 years because at first I was just all about cutting.
Wow. That is actually really interesting because you're not the first person to tell me that what they ended up loving was what was probably either the most difficult or something that wasn't their first connection.
Yeah, absolutely. It just didn't click with me at first at all. The theory side, I was just like, I hate it. I'm never going to colour. I'm just going to do cutting. And then just randomly, it just sort of clicked and then I just fell in love with it.
So, did you have any mentors or people who guided you and sort of helped you through the beginning stages of your career?
So I did an apprenticeship. And so somebody would come in and sort of pass you off on different cuts and whatever every week. So not anybody specifically. My boss that I worked for, she was really good. She helped out quite a lot and showed me what to do and taught me loads of different things. So she was really helpful. But other than that, not so much. It were very. I think it's quite difficult when you're training to get that education firsthand.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It is very difficult, especially to find a good one. There's plenty of people out there who are willing to, do their best, but to find a really good mentor to guide you is certainly difficult. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's so much easier now to with Instagram and everything, to be able to find somebody that you look up to and know where they are and that sort of thing. So I was like, I lived in a small little village, and like I didn't know like where to work, where to go, like who could help or anything like that. Whereas now you can sort of go online and you know exactly where everybody is and where to go and how to get that help, I think.
Right. And if they're doing a good job, you can see their personality too, to see if your
Absolutely.
personalities will fit too. So yeah, that's very true. So what were some of the fears that maybe you had about the industry, or currently have about the industry, that you had to overcome?
So I'd probably say I still am. And they're usually like myself, like my own self-doubts sort of thing. I'm a very anxious person naturally. I always have been very shy. So trying to overcome that, like just pushing myself further into situations where I'm so not comfortable, is like I just keep having to push and push and push. Whereas for a long time I sort of just didn't. I'd keep in my comfort zone, and I was just getting really bored. I was like, I've got to. The only way that I can get any further is to just push past these like insecurities. I'm very much an introvert, so it's quite difficult, but you just have to push yourself out of it, really.
Yeah, I love that. I'm also actually very much an introvert, but what's interesting is how I don't think a lot of us know how to use that vocabulary and describe ourselves, as we do like to sort of be at home and be to ourselves, but at the same time we love to give and be around people,
Yeah,
you
completely.
know?
It's so strange because I love being around people, but
Yeah.
I also love being like just at home chilling by myself and like with the dogs and all that sort of thing. But I love having people around me as well.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that completely. So when you do some of the things that you do you still get nervous, like to speak in front of people, or, to say, just to do this podcast? Like, is being nervous still a part of where you are, or have you kind of grown through that?
No, absolutely. I'm still nervous. So
Yeah.
nervous. Like even doing this podcast, like my first reaction when anybody asks me to do anything that I'm not comfortable with is just be like, no, I don't want to. Like it's too scary. But I think mainly this year I've just been like, right, no, that's it. You've got to just start saying yes to things. Like that's the only way you're going to get anywhere. And I think being nervous is a good thing.
Yeah.
And if you start seeing it in like a different way, but yeah, I can't totally still get nervous.
I actually heard something the other day that I really, really appreciated, and maybe you'll feel the same, but it was nerves and anxiety. It's just an energy, so you can actually learn just to dance with it, to guide it
Yeah.
rather than let it control you.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too, because
I
it
love that.
does a lot for a lot of people out there. It's overwhelming, and they want to grow, but for some reason they can't get past that fear. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you opened up about that and admitted, that you do have fears, and it is very difficult, because so many of us actually do struggle with that. And in order to get to the next level of what you're trying to accomplish just in life,
Yeah.
that's part of it. So I appreciate you sharing that.
I think so many times you like look at like all the hairdressers on Instagram that are quite big and they've got really like big personalities and they look so confident, but not everybody's actually that confident. It's just like a bit of a persona. So I think sometimes it's nice to know that not everybody does feel super comfortable. It's just you've got to just push yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So how long did it take before you felt that you were getting some success, that you were actually becoming successful?
I'd say very recently, actually, probably like maybe a year ago or even this year. I feel like it started to get like where I'm wanting it to go, but I still like feel like I've got so much further and so much more that I want to do.
Okay. And this is a completely loaded question. I realize it's difficult to answer, but what is success to you? Like, how would you define success
Um,
personally?
that's so difficult. I'd probably
Mm-hmm.
say, to me, just to be, I think, to just finally be comfortable with what I'm doing, finally feel comfortable with doing everything that makes me uncomfortable, and just being able to spend time at home as much as I need to, and sort of have like a bit of a balance, as well as like doing as much as I need to with work, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I have quite a few conversations about like this work life balance, okay? And it's almost like everybody strives for it, but is it really achievable? I don't know. I mean, I haven't reached it. Have you
Me neither.
found? Yeah.
I can't find it.
Yeah, and I don't know that it exists. I think it's exactly what you said. It's just sort of learning to be happy with what it is that you're creating, and being truly yourself.
That's it. And I think as well as hairdressers, like, we're naturally sort of people pleasers, aren't we? And it's really easy to just be like, yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah, I'll work on my day off. Yeah, I'll stay late and all that sort of thing. So it's trying to learn to reel it in a little bit.
Yeah. That's a huge one for us, because it is. I mean, a haircut, you're like, oh, you know what? What's 45 minutes of me just taking a little bit of extra time? I can skip my lunch, I don't have to like pee today. It's fine.
I can hold it in.
Right. Right. So that is so true. Healthy boundaries for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having the confidence to do that. Yeah. So here's a fun question too. How much time would you say that you would actually spend marketing yourself or being on social media every day?
Oh my God, so much. I'd say it varies. Like, if I've got a day off, I'm literally on it all day, so hours. But like, obviously in the week when you're at work and stuff, you don't get that much time. But it's usually like, I'd probably say 3 to 4 hours a day on average.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems honest.
Addiction.
Yeah, there was a few people that I spoke with, and they were saying that, oh, not really that much time. And it's like, that's crazy, because I know that that's not true.
Yeah. You're lying to yourself.
Right. You're lying to me. You're lying to yourself. Yes. But yeah, so I would say, honestly, like I said, just from doing this podcast, just from being a hairdresser myself and speaking with people, that's pretty average, I would say, for most people who are, doing well and actively marketing themselves on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I get so many questions like, how do you build this? How do you get this many likes? How do you get that? And it's like, literally, you just have to live on your phone for a little bit. Like, well, for a lot, like, as long as you want it to go, you've just got to be so consistent with it. But if you're not willing to put in the time, like, it's not going to happen.
So there's also so many hairdressers that are still out there that are not using social media the way they should be.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for people to really get started and really get some momentum going on social media?
I'd just say, like, at least take an hour or two out of your day every day. Like, just get up a little bit earlier, stay up a little bit later. Just look at what other people are doing, what they're posting, how they're posting, what tags they're putting in. Make sure you like, and it depends as well, like, what you're wanting to build it for. I always think, like, if you're wanting to build it to get clients, like, you need to make sure that you're aiming your post towards clients and not other hairdressers or brands or anything like that. Like, you want to try and make sure you're getting your chair full. So be like tagging your location and all that sort of thing. Like, obviously, like, if mine would be like Sheffield Hairdresser, Sheffield Extensions, anything like that, just to get your name out there, like, around your area. So as soon as people are like searching for what they want, you're right there, like, under the nose.
Yeah, I feel like that's great advice. I feel like when Instagram and first sort of came around, I think a lot of, I don't want to say older hairdressers, even just like my generation hairdressers, they were kind of like not on board. They're like, oh, this is just like a thing that's just going to pass. But it's not going anywhere. No, it's only getting stronger. And my personal advice to those hairdressers out there that are still not on board, it's, jump on, because it's not going away, and it's just another form of marketing. Absolutely. Right? Like, it's just another way to make more money. So there's no point in passing it up.
And I think people get really overwhelmed at, like, the followers and all that sort of thing. And it's like, you don't need a lot of followers. As long as you've got a busy chair, you could have 500 followers. But if your 500 followers are your clients that are spending money in your chair, then that's brilliant. There's no point in having
Yeah.
50,000 followers that are from all other places that aren't going to sit in your chair and spend your money. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, what is your purpose?
yeah,
You know, are you trying to make money? Because if you're trying to make money, like you said, you only really need, say, 500 followers for something like that. But
absolutely,
yeah, so keep your eye on the prize, I guess, right?
definitely.
So where are some of the places that we can find you in the future? I know that you're starting to do education for Pulp Riot.
Yeah, so I'll
And
be popping around like a few different places in the UK with Pulp Riot. And then I think I'll be doing Salon International with them as well. That's in October, beginning of October.
oh, that's so exciting.
That's really exciting. That's like the first time I'll ever be like on a stage at Salon International, which is super scary, but really, really exciting.
Yeah. And then you also do some independent education, is that right?
I'll be starting to do it. So we're just like planning that at the minute. I've got like one date that I've started to put together, and then the more we start doing it, we're just going to put on a few more, and I'm going to try, and I really want to do like some collaboration ones because nobody really does that over here, and I know that they do that in America, but over here everybody's sort of just by themselves, and I just want to do like a few little collab ones with other educators and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool because I feel like a lot of people will, I mean, of course, a lot of people will come to see you and your talent and, you know, but when you join a group of people, it's like they get so much out of one class. It's like, how could they even deny the education,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, I know I can't. I mean, if you have one that you love and then two and three that you love, you're like, oh, I'm in,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So, why Pulp Riot? What about Pulp Riot, you know, speaks to you, and did you want to become an educator for them?
So I'd seen it for ages, like on Instagram, but we just couldn't get hold of it over here. Or we could, but it would cost us an absolute fortune to get it, like with the import tax and all that sort of thing. And I just thought, oh, we're just never going to get it over here. Like they're never going to bring it here, so just sort of whatever. But I were always looking at like the Riot Squad and all that, and I just loved like the vibe and all the people that were just a little bit different because I've always like I've got like tattoos and piercings and all that sort of thing, which now isn't that different, but it used to be when I first started. And I remember
Right.
when I first went somewhere to like this college, and they told me, they were like, right, you need to dye your hair this colour, you need to take your piercings out, you've got to cover your tattoos up, put some heels on, and it really like knocked me because I was just like, I don't want to do that. Like I want to be myself. Whereas like now it's becoming a lot more accepting to be yourself and look a little bit different. And with Pulp Riot, it's just all about like being who you are, and it's just so raw and independent, and I love it.
Yeah, they have certainly built a really amazing culture around their brand, and you guys are just a bunch of badasses. I mean, really, you know what I mean? Like that's exactly how I would describe Pulp Riot is you know, the tattoos and piercings and like vivid colors and just like really serious, like kick-ass stylists. So that's a great team to be a part of.
Yeah,
I love Pulp Riot myself. Yeah.
Have you used it? I love it.
Oh yeah,
My fave.
I have definitely used it. Yes, and I think that it is great. So, in the independent education that you're going to be doing, are you going to be doing extensions as well as color, or are you going to be doing more than that?
I think, yeah, extensions and colour and custom colouring extensions, because I get a lot of messages about that. Like, I like to add like rainbows in with extensions because there's just so much things you can do with extensions, like adding colouring and all sorts of different things. But yeah, so I get a lot of interest with that. So definitely going to go down the extension route as well.
Oh, good. I love that our generation now is just sharing, you know, all the information that they have. You know, when I first started, it was like nobody could share, nobody wanted to share. It was like this secretive thing, and it's just changed so much.
Yeah.
And
it was
so
like, it was really hard
to
get education and to get taught. Like you'd ask people and everybody's really secretive. Whereas now, like you said, like it's amazing to just be like, everybody wants to tell you what they're doing and help you, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's a totally different energy. It really is. Then you and I started right around the same time, so that's why I'm kind of like, I know exactly where you're at as far as like when you started it and where it's gone now. So I'm very happy with the direction it's taken, and there's so many people out there willing to share and help you, and like you said, with social media, it's so much easier to find the right people to help you. So
completely, it's amazing.
So what's a day in your life like? Like just a regular day?
Very boring. I sort of get up, get ready, go to work, come home, sit with my dogs on the sofa, do my Instagram, and go to bed.
Yeah. So do you do anything like, are you like a gym person? Are you, do you like drink beer? Are you a pizza person? Like what type of things are you into?
Absolutely not a gym person. I wish I was. I'm very much a beer and pizza person. Vegan pizza, though. I'm vegan. You've got to get that. Okay. But yeah, that weekend's like, I don't really drink that much. We just like to go out for food, watch movies. Literally very boring.
So do you also get on like social media or YouTube and just like binge watch hair porn? Do you do that too?
If I do have a day off, that's the first thing I do, is I get on YouTube, on Instagram, and I'm just watching videos. It's what I'm doing at night really as well. Like every single night I'm looking at Instagram videos and just trying to learn like little tips and tricks, and being like, oh, I might try that next, like tomorrow on such and such person. Like that looks like I could use that on such and such, and just really trying to learn that way.
Isn't it funny how you, even like when you're chilling and you're relaxing at home, you're still thinking about what you're going to do?
Yeah, which is why I didn't
that's
think
passion.
that, because that's literally what I do every single night. But I don't even see it as like working. It's just what I enjoy.
Yeah, it's just who you are. It's just in you. So, what do you think that you would ever retire from the industry? I mean, I know you're a long ways away, but I mean, do you think that might be something you would do, or no?
No, I can't see that ever happening. I'd like to not be behind the chair 7 days a week, but I don't think I could ever not work. Even if I'm off for like a few days, I get so bored. I mean, I might be different when I'm 70, but I can't see it.
Yeah. A lot of us are exactly the same way, which is exactly why I set that question up. Because it's, like you said, you sit down and you do it for fun. You do it all day for work, and then you go home and you sit down, you do it for fun. It's so difficult to wrap your mind around not ever actually being in the industry if you really do have the passion,
We always have these conversations about like what you do if like you won the lottery and all that sort of thing, and I'd be like, and everybody always says you'd still work, wouldn't you? I'm like, yeah, I definitely would still work. I wouldn't work as much, and I'd work when I wanted to, but I would still do it because and then it probably wouldn't even be work. I'd just be doing it for fun.
Yeah,
which would be amazing.
Right. So do you do anything to bring, say, like calmness or peace into your life?
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and that sort of brings me a lot of peace, to be fair. I don't know why, like really, it just does. I don't really do anything else other than, like, if I want to relax, I'd literally just get in the bath, put some candles on, put a podcast on, and that's kind of how I unwind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually really enjoy podcasts too, obviously. But yeah, I same. I enjoy music, but for some reason podcasts, it's a little bit, it's different, and it's sort of, things are starting to change. I don't know if it's my age or what it is, but podcasts are really hitting the spot for me lately as well.
Yeah, you can get a lot of inspiration from them. I think it's what I put on my journey to work. It takes me like 40 minutes to get to work, 40 minutes back. So I put them on the way to work, on the way back from work, and then I sort of use them to unwind a little bit as well.
Yeah. I think for me with podcasts, it's almost like you can choose your thoughts, you know, like when you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's it. I guess that you answered all of these questions. And it was just like a really easy conversation to have with you. We just flew right through all of them. I appreciate you so much for being so honest and so real with me today. And you are an extremely talented artist, and I cannot wait to see where you go from here and what you do in the future. And I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me on. I was really, really nervous, and I hope it all was all right, but I've loved every second.
You are amazing, and you overcame that fear for sure.
Thank you so much, Colie. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Sure. Time is so valuable, and I appreciate you sharing yours with me today. So thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much.
For more salon and business education, visit americassalonacademy.com.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money for your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app. Or go to anchor.fm to get started.